What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Make sure you don't miss out on any of the free DFS content we put out. That's right. That fire DFS content. Covering slates Monday through Friday for baseball. Let's do it. We do cover NBA. Probably won't do any shows for NBA playoffs. We do cover NBA fully at WiseTake.com. For anybody who's interested, if you're looking for DFS content beyond this show. And of course, we cover a slew of MLB content as well, projections, all that good shit. All my shit, really. But anyway, we're starting a new week. I'm going to ask that you like this video. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, etc., etc. So nice I said it twice. All right, shout out to Patrick Bush in the YouTube chat. Pat, what's going on, bro? WiseTake Nation member. What's up, CK? How are you? I'm ready to put my attention to baseball. That's what I'm talking about, Pat. That's what I'm talking about. He's ready. Pat was really focused on NBA. He was grinding it out, doing it, getting down. Had himself a nice little hot streak. And now he's ready to, increase his profits with some MLB action. All right, we've got an 8-game slate to get into, which it's kind of like a sweet spot. It's not too little, not too many. It's kind of right there. And we have some really good pitchers to discuss. We got Garrett Cole, Darvish, Walker Buehler, all three of those guys, aces, right? So we've got a lot to get into. You got a couple guys, like one guy stands out, and like Taijuan Walker at 9-1, right? Like he looks like maybe he don't belong there. He's been good, right? Before I pull up his stats, he's been good, but something looks fishy there, right? Then again, sometimes the DK algo knows all. So anyway, we'll go ahead and flip open these stats real quick and take a look at the 2021 stats. Garrett Cole, obviously, the most dominant by far on the slate, 40% K rate, 1.96 xFIP. Gets himself a park boost here against the Rangers. Speaking of the Rangers, let's find the Rangers here. So far this season, Rangers with a 27.2% K rate. They do have 154 ISO, which if you look at the league average, it's not that terrible because I guess they changed the balls again, right? They tried to make it more or less home runs. Anyway, 103 WRC plus. You got to figure 100s typically like league average, so not bad in terms of runs created against righties. But 27.2% K rate was all we needed to see because that's what Garrett Cole does with a 40% K rate. He's your ace, number one for sure. You Darvish though, not in such a bad spot himself. 2.08 ERA. 3.73 xFIP, which is higher than his ERA, but still a very good xFIP. Very solid SIERA, 3.23. Those are normal numbers, not dominant Garrett Cole type numbers. Those are normal dominant numbers that Darvish has. 31.2% K rate, and he's playing Colorado away from Coors. Key away from Coors. Now this tool here, I don't have the homer away splits on, but I do have splits versus righties, right? And against right-handed pitching, and this includes Coors, the Rockies have the lowest WRC plus against righties. They do have a 151 ISO, but at 299 WOBA, 73 league low WRC plus against righties. Runs created against righties. So, now they don't have the highest strikeout we've seen at 22.5, but Darvish has some above-average stuff, right? So I'm good with it. He's a little too close to Cole on DraftKings to take any substantial leans unless you're planning on using a cheap stack and just kind of playing a both. But on FanDuel, you are saving some money. You may not need that savings because FanDuel's pricing is soft, but it's there if you want it. Walker Buehler would be the next one. I guess I would be an ass if I didn't mention Walker Buehler. I think Walker Buehler is a stud. I think his numbers look good. Strikeout rate's on par. If you look at what he did last year, numbers were a little higher. Strikeout rate was still good. Numbers were a little higher. He didn't look as crisp. This year, he's straightened it out. Shit looks good. He's playing Arizona. Let's take a look at Arizona. 93 WRC plus, 156 ISO, 23.4% K rate. So they're striking out a little bit more against righties, I think. Right? So all three of these guys are in phenomenal spots. The question is, do you just lock in Cole? Right? Do you just lock in Cole and say fuck it because he's already got theoretically a better matchup anyway? Better numbers anyway? Maybe. But you do get an opportunity to get Darvish and Buehler lower owned because I think so many people will play Cole. So I'm going to skip Taijuan Walker and I'm going to talk about him in the things to watch section. This is top pitcher section. And now we're looking to save some money. We're going with Kikuchi. Mr. Kikuchi. The Kikuchi is loose, you know what I mean? 4.3 ERA, but a 3.25 xFIP, 3.55 Sierra. Really solid shit. 25.6% K rate. It's not the dominant 30% shit, but 25.6 ain't bad. 51% ground ball rate. 27% hard contact rate. He's checking boxes. And on top of that, he's playing Detroit. Now, I'm going to point this out. This is against lefties here. MLB teams against lefties. Look where Detroit is. Dead last. You can't see it. It's behind me. I realize that now. I'll scroll up. Dead last. And the numbers that are behind me. 33.8% K rate. 0.06 ISO. 247 WOBA and a 56. By far the leader. The next worst is a 75 from Cleveland. 56 WRC plus. Kikuchi looks pretty good. Kikuchi should be popular. This game is in Detroit, which is not a bad park for pitching by any means. It is a better park for righties. Oh no, this game's in Seattle. My bad. This game's in Seattle anyway. Fuck it. So yeah, typically a good place to, pitch, etc. The other guy we'll look at here is Max Fried. By the way, Kikuchi is 7.8. 9K on FanDuel, so I'm sorry if I tease the cheap dude and I gave you a 9K pitcher in Kikuchi, but it is what it is. Max Fried is genuinely cheap on both sides. And he's playing the Mets. Fried started off the season terrible, but he's kind of bounced back, right? He's kind of bounced back. I think, since he had a little stint, he skipped the start. I think he missed almost a month. Came back, had a good game against Washington, a team that's tough against lefties. Had another decent game against Toronto. So maybe he's on his way. His numbers have improved. I know the ERA hasn't. That's going to take some time. But the xFIP and Sierra look a little bit better. And it does look like he's been a little on the unlucky side with a 391 batting average balls in play. If we go to the Mets against lefties, currently the Mets have a 127 ISO, a 330 WOBA, which actually isn't terrible, a 113 WRC plus. So they have been producing runs over league average against lefties. Obviously, these samples are small. We're talking about, particularly Mets against lefties, only 246 plate appearance sample. You can see the Yankees at 417, so you can see the differences. 23.2% K rate. So a little more risky, but that's what you're going to get when you're saving money. Obviously, it seems like a safer bet to just go with Kikuchi if you can make that work. And maybe you can. Maybe you can. Let's look at some top offenses. So these are the offenses. Again, the show is a first look show. I do write a core plays article at WiseTake.com where I post these charts in there for everybody to see. And, I write up my favorite cash game pitchers, favorite tournament pitchers, and favorite stacks. And then ultimately in the bottom, I leave my core for the day. The players I have the most exposure to. But this is a first look show. So I'm talking about the offenses that stand out and will most likely be popular because if they stand out to me right away, they probably stand out to others. Not always, but that's probably the case, right? In the articles where we break things down to lower owned stacks and all that goody good. Anyway, Yankees against Jordan Lyles. I expect that to be a pretty popular stop for people. Yankees have been heating up a little bit. Couple good days in a row. Aaron Judge is red hot. Dong watch teaser alert. Right? Spoiler alert, I should say. Aaron Judge will be on Dong watch. 6.63 ERA, 4.94 xFIP. Don't think Lyles is any good. Now, the Yankees are a team that have historically played better at home. They have a very hitter-friendly park. Texas, this season, I got to see what's up. Because this season, I feel like the Ranger Park has played. I don't know if they opened up the roof more or what. It's one of those stadiums where, like, when the roof is closed, it's been really pitcher-friendly. But when the roof has been open, it's been hitter friendly because we got those Arlington winds down there, right? The cool breeze. So this is something that we'll have to see with the roof. But either way, the Yankees against Lyles is certainly something that stands out. Some of our subscribers at WiseTake made a lot of money off this one, and we get it again. J.A. Happ against the White Sox. Now, I will say this. We nailed it, right? We talked about the regression of J.A. Happ. He still has more to go, but it has come down a little bit, right? Look at that ERA. What did he have before? Like a 1 point some ERA when we talked about this spot last time. Now he's at a 4.26. XFIP is still higher. Not striking dudes out. And the big thing is the White Sox, right? Number 1 WRC plus by far against lefties. One of the top ISOs at 187. One of the top WOBAs, probably the top WOBA at 369. Only a 22% K rate. So White Sox against lefties this year has been really good. And they're getting Happ again. Curious to see where the ownership goes. I would imagine people go back to this spot. I'm sure I will, and I'm sure that our subscribers, and we had a few of them that won some pretty good money, will as well. But there's a reason for that, right? 47.5% fly ball rate. This is a little bit different, right? This one's in Minnesota, which is a much more pitcher-friendly park than Chicago, the White Sox, right? So we want to keep that in mind. Cubs against John Lester. Again, we talked about that regression. 2.25 ERA, but a 4.69 xFIP, 5.38 Sierra, only a 15% K rate. In a revenge spot against his former team, Chicago Cubs. Cubs are one of the more interesting offenses here. So 27.2% K rate, but a 175 ISO. Still a WRC plus above 100, slightly, even though they're in like the lower half, I think, technically. Just something to take note of. So I'm going to lean towards the Cubs offense on this one, especially when their 27.2% K rate could be negated a little bit by Lester's lack of strikeout skill at 14.2%. So I like the Cubs against Mr. John Lester. And something else I've noticed with the revenge spots, it always seems like, unless it's like an elite pitcher, when the pitcher faces his former team, it seems like he just gets tattooed, man. You probably figure how well the scouting report is on him because he just pitched for you last year. You know what his weaknesses are, his tendencies, all that shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. We'll keep it rolling. Lastly, for this section, top offenses, and this one is all numbers. Wait, that was the last one. Everything else is in the. Yeah, okay. No. My bad. We're on to the things. Those are the 3 offenses that stood out to me in my first look. Now let's get into the things to watch. Right. Taijuan Walker, starting with you. So his price has come up, more so on DraftKings, still only 8K on FanDuel. He's playing one of the top offenses in the league, the Atlanta Braves. Braves have a 194 ISO against righties, and they're a pretty right-handed team. 327 WOBA, 104 WRC plus. One of the top offenses in the league against righties, right? Especially for power. Mr. Taijuan Walker has a 221 BABIP. He has an xFIP that is almost double his current ERA. That makes me nervous a little bit. Makes me real nervous. I actually think Atlanta could be a lower-owned sneaky stack. The Mets are on a losing streak. Their bullpen does not look great, at least lately, right? Lately, or over this stretch. DeGrom's been out. They desperately need him back. I don't really love this. 9,100 for Walker seems expensive, but now it comes down to, is he at a point where do we want to attack him at low ownership with one of the top offenses in the game? Maybe. I don't know. But something to keep an eye on. Casey Mize against Seattle. Casey Mize does not look good in the major leagues. He does not look good at all. But he is playing Seattle, who is not look very good either, right? They have a lot of young guys called up. Seattle has a 25% strikeout rate, 25.2 to be exact. Only a 298 WOBA, but a 171 ISO. So what wins out here? Does Casey Mize kind of roll through Seattle, or does Seattle, at low ownership, tee off from Mr. Casey Mize and the Detroit bullpen? Speaking of Detroit bullpen, let's take a look at our bullpen stats. This is available at WiseTake.com for WiseTake Nation subscribers. And let's see, Detroit's bullpen has been ass. Yes, 1, 2, 3, what's that, the fifth highest bullpen xFIP. How about St. Louis, number 1? How about that? Something to keep in mind. So I lean towards Seattle, but something to watch. Sam Hentages, Patrick Sandoval. These are two pitchers that have not looked good at any point. Hentages looks like he's got some aggression coming as far as xFIP and Sierra. Though it looks like his batting average balls in play is concerned, he's been a little on the unlucky side. But not according to his ERA. I don't think this guy's that good. But the Angels against lefties have not been that good either. Only a 20% K rate. 302 WOBA. And the other side of this is Patrick Sandoval, who, we'll pull up his numbers from last season, was terrible last year. And we don't think he's very good this year. Against Cleveland, though. How bad does Cleveland look outside of like Franmil the GOAT? Cleveland against lefties this year. 75 WRC plus, 278 WOBA, 156 ISO. So more or less we've got a bad offense in Cleveland going up against a bad pitcher. What wins out? On the other side of that, bad pitcher against a team that's been struggling, particularly against lefties. What wins out? Right? Last but not least, Madison Bumgarner against the Dodgers. Fair price for Mad Bum. Mad Bum has looked good. His numbers are starting to level out now. xFIP and ERA are around the same, and it's not great, but that xFIP was way higher before. And his Sierra, he got down to 3.5. 27.5% K rate looks good. If we look at the Dodgers against lefties, they have not been great. 87 WRC plus, 293 WOBA, 130 ISO, 25.6% K rate. That's a little surprising. I was picking on Mad Bum heavy in the beginning, right? But he's starting to kind of, I don't know. And he's kind of cheap, right? For the upside. I guess you could argue that point, but I don't know. Leave me your comment. I want to hear from y'all. Leave a comment below. Mad Bum, Dodgers, if you had to pick one side. I'm talking like fantasy, right? Not betting, fantasy. If you had to either play Mad Bum on every team you had or do Dodger stacks on every team you had no choice. You had to do one or the other. Which one would it be? Comment. Dong watch time. Aaron Judge, right? Dong watch. Aaron Judge number 1. I'm going Chris Bryant number 2 against the lefty. Against a lefty he knows, and John Lester. And then I'm going Yermin Mercedes. Mercedes or Mercedes? I'm saying Mercedes because we like Mercedes right here. Because we like it. Yermin. Big dog. Dong Dilla. Dong hitter. You know what I'm saying? We're going with him as the third home run for the Dong Watch. That being said, once again, if you're looking for more fire DFS content, go check us out at WiseTake.com. Day pass is available to try it out. My projections are up there, cheat sheets. Paulie does our dirt sheet. He goes over his favorite plays on a very easy, quick format. I write a core plays article covering cash games, tournaments, all that good shit. So go check it out. I appreciate you. And if you're a monthly member or higher, get into Slack. Trying to get the Slack going again. I fell off, had some shit go down, let the Slack fall off. We're trying to build the Slack back up because it is a community. That's what we have here. A daily fantasy sports content provider, but more importantly, a daily fantasy sports community designed to help make you a better DFS player. So let's get a Slack going. Slack access for monthly members and higher at WiseTake.com. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hit the like button on your way out. Leave some comments. Share the show. Do thy dirty to thy neighbor. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.